You know, in the modern high-stakes corporate boardroom architecture of Major League Baseball, building a championship roster is supposed to function as this patient game of systemic development. You draft high school prospects, you invest millions into minor league analytical tracking systems, and you basically just wait for incremental windows of free agency to slowly fortify your active Major League rotation. But when the calendar strikes late July and that absolute final countdown of the trade deadline hits zero, conventional patience is violently thrown out the window. Welcome to today's explainer. Because last night, while the casual sports world was sleeping, the baseball landscape didn't just shift, it completely fractured. A massive, staggering blockbuster trade rumor has officially cleared league logging protocols, sending absolute shockwaves through every front office from New York to Baltimore. Cy Young frontrunner Tarik Skubal is potentially being systematically acquired by the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's a ruthless executive maneuver that has left teams like the Baltimore Orioles in a state of absolute deep-seated panic, especially after they spent 72 hours believing they had the transaction entirely locked down. The balance of power in the sport is officially on fire, and the path to the Fall Classic might just be permanently rewritten. So let's get into the inside story of the deadline ambush that could literally break the MLB.
To really understand why the league is in such a panic right now, we have to look directly at the sheer value of the player at the center of this storm. $317 million. That staggering figure right there is Tarik Skubal's projected 8-year free agency market value. I mean, Skubal is a totally proven commodity. He's a 2-time Cy Young pitcher and a 2-time All-Star. But here is the kicker. Right now, he's entering the final months of a 1-year, $32 million arbitration contract. This makes him the ultimate golden goose of the modern pitching market. He's an elite, highly coveted superstar currently playing on a massive discount that literally every contender wants, but very few can actually pull off.
And well, this brings us directly to Los Angeles. Both Fangraphs and Heavy confirm that the Dodgers aren't just in the mix here. They are the overwhelming favorites. In their quest to snag the first World Series three-peat of the 21st century, acquiring Skubal is the absolute definition of an all-in move. We are talking about a franchise with immense institutional wealth, aggressively maneuvering to pull off what could be a generational heist. But you gotta ask yourself, why Skubal? Why are they willing to mortgage the farm for this specific left arm?
Section 1. Unpacking Skubal's elite arsenal. Let's run the advanced performance telemetry to see exactly why the Dodgers are willing to sacrifice their top prospect depth for this asset. It all starts with a 119 Stuff Plus rating. If you aren't familiar with it, Stuff Plus is a metric that rates a pitcher's repertoire based on physical characteristics, things like release point, velocity, movement, and spin rate. A score 100 is league average. Now in 2024, Skubal had a great 112 rating, but in 2025, his stuff leveled up to a 119. That is the absolute highest rating among all qualified pitchers in baseball. It's just insane.
Honestly, Tarik Skubal is a mechanical anomaly. Operating with this high-velocity left-handed release window, he relies on an absolutely lethal 5-pitch mix. He throws his four-seamer 37% of the time, followed by his changeup at about 25%, a sinker at 19%, a slider at 14%, and he mixes in a curveball at just over 4%. He doesn't just pitch to contact, he fundamentally shatters the horizontal plane of the strike zone. Across the analytics grid, Skubal represents the absolute gold standard for pitch tracking.
And the crown jewel of that arsenal? Without a doubt, it's the changeup. This specific pitch generates a ridiculous 47.9% whiff rate and a 45.5% strikeout rate. He possesses this super rare operational profile where he pairs a blazing four-seam fastball that touches 99 miles per hour with a devastating high-spin changeup that just drops completely out of the zone. Opposing hitters face this impossible mathematical dilemma. You brace for 99 miles per hour, and suddenly an 87-mile-per-hour changeup literally pulls the rug out from under you. It is completely terrifying for hitters.
Section 2. The Prospect Capital Matrix.
To truly comprehend the sheer structural audacity of this trade, we have to map out the exact asset movement and the microscopic financial engineering required to execute this massive payload. The Detroit Tigers possess a left-handed ace under team control, and to get him, the Dodgers are willing to part with a huge package of top-tier prospects. As you can see, Los Angeles receives Skubal, and in exchange, right-handed pitcher Emmett Sheehan, along with outfielders Zahir Hope and Ching-Sin Ko, flow right back to Detroit.
So what's the tactical logic for Detroit here?
Well, first you have Emmett Sheehan. He's only 26 years old and under club control through the 2029 season. This provides Detroit with a Major League-ready arm so they aren't completely surrendering their rotation. Then you have Zahir Hope, an elite outfield prospect who is kind of blocked in LA right now but could easily be a 2027 starter for the Tigers. Finally, the wild card of the bunch, Ching Hsien Ko. He's a 19-year-old physical specimen standing at 6'3" with some massive, real power upside. Detroit desperately needs this exact kind of highly coveted, high-ceiling youth to secure their future.
But you know what's just as fascinating? It's who is actually not in this deal. The Dodgers front office strategy is famous for aggressively guarding their absolute premier prospects. And the name you don't see here is Josue De Paula. While Detroit would for sure insist on De Paula, Andrew Friedman and the LA front office are notoriously careful to only trade players they don't have concrete long-term plans for. By utilizing Sheehan, Hope, and Co., they effectively create a protective shield around De Paula. They keep him safely out of the trade matrix while still offering a package that Detroit would really struggle to turn down.
Section 3. The Postseason Nightmare.
Let's transition to the tactical chalkboard for a second, because the Dodgers desperately need immediate, durable starting pitching for October. Look at their current reality. Shohei Ohtani is sidelined as a pitcher with left knee irritation, and there's no clear timetable for his return to the mound. Justin Robleski has been a breakout rookie stepping up, but relying on a rookie deep in the postseason, that's a massive gamble. Now contrast that with the reality of having Tarik Skubal. Ohtani is protected from being rushed back. Robleski is pushed into a highly valuable depth role. Suddenly, a high-risk medical liability of a rotation is anchored by an ironclad lefty ace. You can no longer hope to just outslug the Dodgers bullpen because Skubal has arrived to completely lock down the top of the matrix.
So, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to consider. If the Los Angeles Dodgers pulled the trigger and finalized this massive executive maneuver with Detroit, did they just guarantee themselves a World Series ring? Or, by trading away cost-controlled elite youth for a $317 million arm, have they mortgaged their sustainable future and left themselves dangerously exposed if the injury bug strikes again? The balance of power in baseball is resting on a knife's edge right now. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and we will definitely see exactly how this trade deadline ambush shakes out.